What is the output of this Python code? You can see a list of fastest supercars in a speed in kilometer per hour. As the images are showing, we are including 5 fastest supercars in the form of tuples, 5 tuples that are listed in this list. The first element of the tuple is the name of the supercar in the form of a string, and then the second element of the tuple is the speed in kilometer per hour. For example, the top car is the SSC Tuatara, which is the max speed of 533 km per hour. And after that, we have the second car in the list as shown is Bugatti Chiron with 490 km per hour. Then we have Koenigsegg Agera and Hennessey Venom GT, and then Bugatti Veyron, the bottom picture shown here. Now, let's see what this code is doing. So I'm going to run the code first. So when I run it, it asks for the car name. Let's say Honda. Just for the sake of testing it. So of course now you see that it returns Honda is not in the fastest list that is mentioned here, and that's obviously is not there. Okay, so let's rerun this code again and see what's going to come out. So now let's actually put in one of the cars that is actually in the list of fastest cars. So Bugatti Veyron. Oh, so when I entered the right name, it says Bugatti Veyron speed is 431. So obviously the code is checking whether the name of the car that is entered is going to be is inside this supercar speed list or not. If it is, then it will read out the recorded max speed and then print it out as is done. So how is it being done? Of course, it's not the most efficient way of doing it, but given this list of 2 tuples, first there is a flag set to 0, then there is this input command asking for car name to be entered, and then it's recorded in the variable named car. And then we are going to check whether this variable named car that is entered is inside this list as the first element in any of these 2 tuples. To do that, we are using a for loop. For item in supercar speed, if item 0, which means if the first element in the 2 tuple is going to match the car name, then print with this F statement in the print, we are actually allowing the car to be entered in the string as a variable. So, for example, as you saw, if I enter Honda, Honda is not in the list, so it's not going to print. But if Bugatti Veyron is entered, then it will print F Bugatti Veyron speed is item 1, meaning that for that specific 2 tuple, the first element, item 0, is the name, and item 1 is the second element in 2 tuples. So as soon as the item is found in this list as the first element of any of the 2 tuples, then the second element, which is item 1, is read out and then printed as the speed in this printf statement. And of course, after that, we set the flag equal to 1, indicating that we found the car inside the list. Therefore, if that is the case, this if statement won't run because flag is 1. This is checking if flag is 0 after the for loop. If after running the for loop flag remains 0, it means the car was not found in the list. Therefore, it will print that using if statement that the car, Honda, for example, is not in the fastest list. So that's how it works. As I said, this is not the most efficient way of doing it. Another way of doing this is using the dictionary. So we can copy paste the whole code here, for example, and then we can change this in the form of dictionary. See, I'm going to change this from list to dictionary of fastest car. And then to change to dictionary this list, I just need to modify this whole thing in the sense that rather than having 2 tuples, I'm going to have dictionary keys and values. So I need to change this commas to colon. There you go, colon, colon, and then colon, colon. And finally, I need to remove this remaining parentheses at the end of these key and values. I don't need flag anymore. And I still need to ask what is the input for car name. I don't need the for loop. What I need is to say if the entered car is a key inside this dictionary. Then I don't need if statement. If that is the case, what I need is print, and instead of item 1, print with if statement, car speed is, it's going to be dictionary and then index car, because when we call dictionary with key, it will return the value, which will be the speed of the car in that case. I don't need flag anymore, and I can change if to else, and I don't need flag. So it means that check whether the car that is entered is inside dictionary. If it is, then print the speed of that as the value of that specific item. Otherwise, if it's not, if the entered car is not a key in this dictionary, then just print that the car is not in the list. So let's run it then. If we run this simpler way of doing it, I'm going to do it. See, it asks for the car name. If I say Honda or Toyota, say, then it will return Toyota is not in the fastest car. But if I copy paste one of these guys, say Koenigsegg, I'm going to run the code again, and then I'm going to enter this one. See, it says, since it can find it as a key in the dictionary, it says the speed is 457, which is properly found. So compared to the list method, of course, this is a faster and better way of doing it compared to the original method that was shown. I hope that this example is helpful.